So one of the really interesting things about a DSLR camera is the ergonomics of it. And so you'll see here, there's a grip around this area, and then a grip right here. And so the idea is that you hold the camera like so, and then you can hold it firmly with one hand, and that gives this hand freedom to do coarse adjustments and fine adjustments. Now the other wonderful thing about this is you can still, grip the whole camera, leaving your thumb free to operate all of these different functions while you're shooting. So that's the real beauty of it. All right, let's kind of come around on this side of the camera and we'll look at the mic. So if it's a TI, you have a mic jack. If you just have a T, T3 through T8, there'll be no mic jack. And so this is really important for videography. So you can put a shotgun mic up here on the foot and then plug it in here and you'll get good sound. One really important thing to remember about a DSLR camera is the poor sound quality. It's very tinny with lots of echo. So if you want to shoot video, you'll want to use a shotgun mic or some other form of mic, like a lav mic. Now, if you don't have a TI, then you can use an external recording device and then sync it up in post-production. So in addition to your mic, you've got a remote control there as well. And then over here, this is where you can have your output cord. So there's a micro USB and then a micro HDMI to download your photos onto your computer. Here is the internal microphone on the camera, and this sets your flash. And here on your lens, you can have autofocus or manual focus. Typically, you always want to have it manual focus. Autofocus for photography is for those instances when you're sort of in a rush and you've got to capture something immediately and you don't really want to waste time making those adjustments. So that's what auto's for. But if you're learning photography and you're a professional photographer, typically you'll keep it in manual. And for any videography, you always want to keep it in manual. Autofocus will create a lot of adjustments that will blur and be very distracting for your audiences. So for videography, you want to keep it in manual. And then you've got your stabilizer. This is really good for videography. For photography, I recommend turning it off. All right, let's come around to the front. And here is our lens cap. You just sort of pinch it and it pops off. And then we can leave it off, I think, for now. All right, we'll come around to this side. Nothing too much interesting on this side except for the grip. And, well, this is pretty important, is where you insert your SD card. So we'll open this little compartment, and there's your SD card. Your camera won't function without it, unless, of course, it's hooked directly to a computer. But here's the SD card, and this is where all your photos and video images will be stored. This is really a perfect card that I recommend. SanDisk is a great brand. 64 gigabytes is good for both videography and photography. And then the speed, 100 megabytes per second, is a good speed for taking multiple shots simultaneously and or shooting videography. For videography, you can certainly go larger, and you can go as low as 32, but I wouldn't go any lower than that. Anything lower, you won't be able to do any videography. All right, and then so you just pop that in there. Always make sure when you're removing and inserting the SD card that the camera is off. All right, that brings us right around to the top. I mentioned before, this is the foot. This can insert many things, typically a flash, a shotgun mic, or even a GPS. There's many devices that you can hook up to that.